cold. And what's that smell? Where are we? What are we doing here?
This is the storage room in the basement of the museum. It is time to have our little chat about internships. Internships are extremely important for young art historians. They're a great way to build your knowledge about how museums work, about the different departments, and also the politics involved in running a major institution. Because as fun as working in a museum sounds, it is not for everyone. So it is good to get some experience early and find out for yourself.
Especially if you want to be the director of the Louvre.
You should start thinking about internships early, your second year of college. And again, it's like a job. You should apply to at least 10 positions. Researching all the different opportunities can be overwhelming, but it is also a way of learning about the museum world and the different kinds of museums there are, such as public and private. Also the difference between museums and galleries. There are 2 good websites that provide information about internships across the country. I will put them in the credits. But start with local institutions.
What is so great about local institutions? Shouldn't I be thinking internationally? Expansively?
Yes, think internationally by all means. But act locally. Volunteering locally is a good way to get your foot in the door, so you can begin to learn names and faces. Plus, since committing your life to art and culture in America is similar to taking a vow of poverty, you want to keep costs down from the get-go.
Okay. What is the difference between a museum and a gallery?
Museums have permanent collections while galleries exhibit contemporary art and normally don't collect. But, in real life, it is not so straightforward. There are other differences. Maria de Corral once told me, the Louvre is a museum, but the Prado is a gallery, and you will never understand until you visit them both.
You are name-dropping. Name-dropping is uncool.
I think she meant museums often tell their own story about the art, through the way they exhibit their collections. Whereas a gallery is more about letting the art speak for itself.
If committing one's life to art and culture in America is similar to taking a vow of poverty, why are you encouraging it?
Because I am a mean-spirited and sadistic person. I have not told you the worst part yet. Your first internship is usually unpaid.
It is like serfdom or slavery. Like medieval times. Fucking hell. We need a plan.
I have a plan. I will tell you about it in the next video. Just don't ask me about the salaries of museum directors.
What is the annual take-home for directors?
Even at second-tier institutions, over $300,000 a year. At the leading museums, sometimes over $1 million.
While the poor little interns slave away without health care or any kind of job security.
Yes. I am really very sorry.
You don't need to apologize. It's not your fault. Are you Canadian? Canadians are always apologizing for things unnecessarily.
I'm sorry. Everyone wants to intern at the best museums, the Met, MoMA, the National Gallery, the Getty, etc. The thing is, because everyone wants those internships, they are extremely hard to get. Plus, people are basically willing to work there for free, so you rarely even get to do anything except make photocopies.
Photocopyology is gay.
That language is unacceptable.
My mom is a weekend lesbian. So I am totally within my rights. In fact, I have written permission to use the word gay whenever I want to. From the highest gay authority. The House of Gaylords.
My point is, there are lots of other great museums in this country, and they need people to do actual work, so you can gain real experience. Like helping to curate a show, writing museum labels or catalog texts. You might even get to work with artists, which is the best thing in the entire universe.
Huh. You just sounded totally gay. What other museums should I consider applying to?
The Cleveland Museum of Art is outstanding, with a truly wonderful collection. The Dallas Museum of Art has a great internship program too, with health benefits. There are many great museums in Los Angeles, Baltimore, Chicago, Philadelphia, Minneapolis, Kansas. It is a long list. And don't forget about all the great university art museums and galleries. They are always looking for people.
I wonder what this giant spinning blade is for. Probably for making picture frames. Right? And there is something on the floor here. I should pick it up. For a museum? It is not very tidy.
Just like grad school, the museums will request a statement of purpose which explains why you are seeking an internship, how it relates to your academic or professional development, your languages, why you would like to intern in your chosen area, what you can contribute, and what you hope to gain from the experience. They will also want to know about recent exhibitions you have seen, and what you thought about them. Mentioning your role models, and explaining why their work is meaningful to you is also important.
I like the director of the Walters Art Museum in Baltimore. He is always talking about collaboration.
You mean Gary V. Can? Yes, he is amazing. Also, you should know that working in a museum, well, it is work. It is not all glamorous openings and cute outfits.
Curators have the best outfits ever. You are still wearing that lame sweater. Hennessy Youngman says that curators are crazier than Laura Palmer in Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me.
Not all curators. Just contemporary art curators. Working in a museum, well, it is a bit of a fire walk. And sometimes it makes people a little weird. I told you. It is a jacket, not a sweater.
Right. You didn't explain about the different departments in museums, or the difference between public and private.
In addition to the director and the curators, there are all sorts of other people who keep the ship running. There are collection managers. Then there are the preparators. They are responsible for moving the art around, from storage to the galleries. They also mount or place the work. There are the registrars who keep track of the art in the museum, and when it travels. Then there is the education department, who connect museums to their different communities. Conservators clean, maintain, and repair the work in case of damage. Then there are the janitors, the security guards, the people who work in the cafeteria, the information technology people, photographers, the cashiers at the gift store. It is a big giant art army.
Holla! Holla! Shout out to the cafe workers. And the difference between public and private?
Sometimes it is hard to tell. Municipal, state, and national museums and galleries, like public universities, are supposed to be funded by the state. But just like in post-secondary education, over the last 10 years, government support has been eroded, and many of these so-called public institutions are now almost totally dependent on the private sector for their funding. They are public in name only, without the valuable independence that totally private museums, like the Frick, have historically enjoyed.
The Frick is freaking amazing. Except that you cannot enter the Frick if you are under 10. What's up with that? And that whole no label thing.
Small children and museum labels are overrated.
You look mostly normal. But really you are the Genghis Khan of art history.
Museums are some of the last places left on earth where we can think in peace. They house and protect great, inspiring, and unrepeatable moments of human achievement. Viewing art helps us get a better understanding of the world and our place within it. Art nourishes the human spirit. It is the very best part of life and it belongs to everyone.
Over 10.
Yes. Over 10.
Next thing you are going to say is that America should have a Ministry of Culture.
All the other grown-up countries have a Ministry of Culture.
What are you? A communist alien from outer space? Also, everyone thinks you are gay. A gay Canadian.
Okay. I think we should probably wrap it up. Right. Here.
You know, when you think about it, gay people and Canadians are very similar. They are both somehow just naturally cooler than everybody else. And when I say everybody else, I mean Americans. I wonder why. Is Canada just totally gay? Are all gay people Canadian? Gosh darn it. What is it about gays and Canadians that makes them more compelling than other people? Somebody should really clean up all this red paint. It is icky. And that is so funny. That thing really looks like a bloody severed arm. For reals.